High school can be tough. We'll help you navigate some of the areas you need help with, including the college preparation process by providing advice for families. Every student is different and has a unique path. That's why we created this podcast. Our innovative and intentional approach builds confidence in the individual student. Listen each week to find out how students can score better on college placement tests with techniques and methods that build confidence, beat test anxiety, and identify strengths within each student. You're listening to Simply Smarter with hosts Caleb and Jill. Check out our blog at GetSmarterPrep.com for more college prep-related topics.
Today, we're chatting with Liz Ferrigno, a parent of one of our students who just recently took the April 13th ACT. Her daughter, Danielle, is a junior at Blue Valley West and is thinking about attending college at either Nebraska, K-State, or Washburn. Danielle started out with a 21, but after completing our standard course here at Leawood, went up 4 points to a 25. Liz, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here, and we worked with you a little bit in the past, so we're just happy you could make some time for us for our podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
Well, tell us a little bit about Danielle. What's her personality like? And just tell us a little bit about her.
So my daughter is, I would say, a very hard worker. She's very conscientious. She's diligent. She works super hard. She's a National Honor Society student.
Smart girl.
Yeah. GPA is a little over about 4.2.
That's crazy.
She plays tennis, and I'm super proud of my daughter.
Good. So she's really busy, but like super intelligent, works really hard. That's really awesome. I didn't even know, GPAs could go up to 4.2. I mean, back in my day, it was like 4.
That's it.
4.0.
Yes. I know.
So she's excelling. Yes. So awesome.
Doing so well.
Good for her. She's got her head on straight. That's awesome. Yes. How did you decide to move on with test prep here at Get Smarter Prep?
So Danielle and a good friend of hers, Peyton, that are in a lot of the same classes together, a lot of AP classes. They took the same test back in, I think it was the October test.
Yep.
Peyton got a super high score, well over 30. And Danielle got a super low score, and that was just so debilitating to her, being the type of student that she is and seeing the result like that. She said, and my husband and I also concurred that there needed to be something more than to just try again.
Right, just wing it. Let's just take it again, see if you do better.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we had sought out different options. There are other test prep places that you can go to, and felt like Get Smarter Prep was the best option for her.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad she could come here and get test prep with us. And let me just reiterate, I was talking to Liz about this just prior to recording, but Danielle first scored a 21. And, of course, she thought it was horrible because her friend Peyton scored so much higher. But in reality, a 21 is a national average, as well as a Kansas average, and a national average. So, she was scoring average, but, of course, for this area in Blue Valley and comparing yourself to other students, that wasn't good enough for her and for some of the schools that she wanted to get into. But overall, still a great score. Score. I know students are really hard on themselves nowadays. So, I can imagine the pressure and what they have to go to get, even better scores. So, kudos for you guys for seeking us out and for Danielle for putting the work in to get an even higher score. Yeah. And then how did she, Danielle went through one of our courses, our standard course. What did she think about the standard course? How did she like it overall?
She really liked it. She said it was a small group. It was herself and 4 others. There were, 10 weeks in the course. And, throughout that whole time that the 5 of them were together, they became really good friends. They got to know each other. And the way that you all have this set up is that you match people or kids with their similar scores.
Yes.
And that is very helpful because, when she's thinking about as you're going through the tutor's going through different sections and things, a question that maybe one of her, other friends
fellow
there,
students.
and the fellow students in the group comes up with is something that maybe she just hadn't thought about, but it stirs up another question for her.
That's right. It's a good point.
They just really become into a really nice, unique group that they can work off of each other and come up with ideas that they hadn't thought of themselves.
Yeah,
so it works really well.
Well, good. And we have 2 locations, our Mission location and our Leawood location. And Danielle was part of our Leawood location, our standard course. And so obviously she's going to be paired with students around the Leawood area. That she could be paired with students from, her same school or different schools, but overall they're going to be in the same general area. So that's good to know that she got along well with so many of the other students. And that does happen sometimes. Yeah, which is great.
And she's still friends with them even after the class has been over.
Oh, that's
she's continuing
awesome.
to keep those relationships going. So it's very nice.
Aww.
It's really nice.
I love to hear that. That's so great.
Yeah.
And you were just talking about how some of the students asked some different questions that Danielle may not have thought of. That kind of leads me into our next question. Danielle did take advantage of our office hours, which here in Leawood we offer every Tuesday night from 7 to 8:30, and then at our Mission location Saturdays from 10:30 to noon. I know students who do go to our office hours tend to increase their score a little bit more just because they are taking advantage of that time to come in and speak to a tutor, ask different questions, and a lot of times when they come into those office hours, different students are asking different questions, so it kind of gives them an insight into, again, a question that they wouldn't have thought of themselves maybe. So how did she think about office hours? What did she think overall?
She loved office hours. They were fantastic. She said that, her and a friend would go in together from that, same group. That they'd go there together to office hours, and, they really worked hard with the tutor until they really got it right. And it's office hours is perfect because it's, like I said, it's a super long time. It's an entire 90 minutes that they get to really work on problems that they're having difficulty with. And to just keep working through that until they get it right was very helpful. And then even some last minute things up until the exam itself was super helpful again, being able to have those office hours. I remember, so I can clearly remember a time where I think it was like the Thursday or Friday before the exam, and it was a super nice evening. It was it must have been like 82 degrees. It was
gotta love those
gorgeous
days.
night after school, and she wanted to go walk our dog. And I was like, but don't you have office hours?
Yeah.
And the test is Saturday, Danielle.
Right.
Focus.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, but I think I'm all set. I think it's going to be fine. She did end up walking the dog, but she got back. Office hours, I think, start like around, 7? Yeah. She got back from the walk. She's like, I'm going to go to those office hours now.
Aww.
Good call, Danielle.
Good job. I know. It is so hard to kind of buckle down. And, when it's so nice out, it's spring here in Kansas. And, some days it could be cold and rainy, snowy sometimes, or just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And it is really hard to get in here and do the work. But she did. She did. Her outcome was wonderful. Yes. So good for her. Yeah. That's awesome. Way to go, Danielle. Did she have any anxiety prior to the test? I know so many students. I just spoke to my daughter's in 3rd grade, and I just was emailing her teacher because she has a sophomore, and she was saying, we're both, her and her daughter are really starting to have so much anxiety over this big, looming test that she has to take this summer or this next year. And do we take it multiple times? And there's just so many questions associated with the ACT, and it is a big test to study for. So she was saying that her daughter is really starting to get very anxious about it. So talk to her about it and ease some of her anxiety. And I know so many kids do get very anxious about it. So what did Danielle think about the test before test prep?
She did have anxiety as well. But she said, this class is just so thorough. And that's what it really helped her come down from the anxious feeling.
Good.
It covers everything from test taking tips to basic geometry formulas that she had learned 2 years ago.
Right. She knew it. It was just rusty, but it's on the test.
Right. And she said, the class and her tutor, it gave her all the materials that she needed to succeed. Basically, she just needed to buckle down and do the work. And if she did that, she put the work in, then, she knew she was going to get the right results.
Yep.
So it's basic stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, but exactly. She just needs to know that. And that really drops down that pressure feeling.
Good.
Feeling of pressure, yeah.
And Danielle was such a great model student. I mean, she's here. She's at every class. She did her homework. She was at office hours. I mean, she was diligent in what she did. She was present. And really, that's all we can ask for in a student, to do their best, to put their best foot forward. Speaking of score improvement, were there any new possibilities for Danielle now that she does have a higher score, such as scholarships or maybe getting, that ease of, okay, I had this score, but now I have this score, so now I think I'm okay for getting admitted to that college?
Yes, she absolutely feels much better now than she did before. I mean, 4 points higher is just a huge achievement for her, and it just gives her that feeling of satisfaction too, gratification and satisfaction, and she knows, she's like, what, I've got all the tools now, and I think I can even raise it even further. I continue to study on this, and I just put the time into it, and I've got all the tools here. So she is going to continue to try again for the June test. But we're happy. We're very happy.
Yeah, good. Overall, I'm so happy for that. Do you think it was worth the investment? I mean, I know test prep, you can look at that number and think, oh wow, that's a big chunk of money, and is it going to be worth it? Is it worth our time and our money? What were your opinions about that?
Absolutely. The biggest thing is that you covered everything. There were so many. She had said she probably asked about 500 questions the whole time that she was there, and you knew how to answer every single one of them. And again, gave her all the tools that she needed to succeed, and it was just all around her, just a really great program for her. Gave her that sense of comfort and understanding, and then to make friends as well in the process. So knowing that she's not the only one in this situation, so it was a fantastic program. I would highly recommend this to anybody and everybody.
Thank you. I love to hear that. And for people who are on the fence about test prep in general, what advice or what would you say to them to help them kind of overcome any anxiety that they have?
Absolutely, just go for it. I mean, this class is just so much more than just reading something out of the ACT prep book. It's just so much more. You can study that, and you can have that as an option, but to be in a group setting, to be able to work out the problems the way that you do, and then have other students chime in with other questions as well, helping her figure it out as well, and just everybody working together. And then, of course, the office hours, having that option to come in and to work on things with a one-on-one tutor as well. All of that comes to play and really helped her to get where she is now. And I highly, as I said, I highly recommend this class.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to come and talk to us. We really appreciate it. We wish Danielle all the best finishing up her junior year and on to her senior year. And also good luck choosing a college. Thanks for listening to the Simply Smarter podcast with Caleb and Jill. If you like our show and want to know more, check out our blog at getsmarterprep.com or subscribe to the podcast to hear us talk about all things ACT related. Join us next season as we dive into more ACT topics. We'll be interviewing students who have prepped with Get Smarter Prep, as well as talking to some of our tutors. Stay tuned.